Well, hello there, and welcome to another interview presented by me, Jack Lucas Caffrey. And firstly, before I start, I want to thank the mad lads of you on Facebook for putting my clip of my interview with Sil Fox up to 35,000 views. That has never happened before in any interview I've ever done, so I greatly appreciate that. And hopefully you'll enjoy this interview coming up, because I've got none other than the original voice of Rosalina in the Mario Galaxy games. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mercedes Rose. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Jack. And congratulations on your big views for that last interview. That's great.
Yes, I'm delighted, and hopefully all the Mario fans will see this, especially after the Mario Galaxy movie and all that, and with the whole sort of Mario Galaxy frenzy going on at the moment, people will be like, "Ooh, right."
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Well, we'll get into the first question, which is a very basic question. That is simply, how did you get into the whole world of acting and voiceover?
Oh, going way back. Oh, that's a good question, Jack. Most people start with how'd you get Rosalina? 'Cause that's what they actually care about. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you asking for the Mercedes Rose lore, if you will. So my mother named me Mercedes Rose. I'm an Aries redhead only child. I didn't have a lot of options but to become an actor. I mean, that was pretty clear from a very young age. Being an only child, you spend a lot of time in your imagination, and I knew I wanted to be an actor, but I thought all actors would be Julia Roberts, Tom Cruise level. And I didn't realize there was such a thing as a working actor. And so when I kind of realized that, I just threw myself into it and started out I've always done film and television. I'm not a theater actor. I don't have the stamina for it. I've done it a couple times and I prefer film and television. So there was at the time, Portland, Oregon, where I am, was very, very busy with a lot of film and television happening. And I saw an ad in the Oregonian, our local paper, that said they were looking for extras for a TV show called Nowhere Man. This is digging way deep. If any of your viewers know this show, I'm going to be so impressed. It only aired for one season on an old network called UPN, which then merged with the CW later. And it starred Bruce Greenwood, who I love. He's amazing. And I was on set as an extra for the pilot. And I went, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is home. And then I went, wait, extras don't I want to do that. I don't want to be over here with the extras. I want the nice chair and the good meal and the trailer. And so I was naive and I didn't know any better. I walked right up to the casting director who was on set because it was the pilot and said, "Hi, how do I do that?" And she was so kind. I'm going to give her a shout out because she was so kind. Her name was Nanette Troutman. And for any of my film family from the Northwest, they know who I'm talking about. And she was just an angel. And she told me how to get into an acting class that would lead to an agent. And she was right. And it kind of snowballed from there. And the first of every type of thing I auditioned for, the first film, the first commercial, the first voiceover audition, the first video game I ever auditioned for, I booked the first of all of them. I think it was just naive. So I was like, man, this is easy. And then realized, oh, wow, that was beginner's luck because I didn't know any better. I didn't get in my head for any of those. And so it's been a journey and I just kept going from there and I love it. I still do it a lot more voiceover than on camera because I'm old in Hollywood standards, but I'm also eternal in Nintendo standards. So it works out. It's about the middle.
When was the sort of first sort of auditions where you started actually getting rejected? When did it sort of go, okay, yeah, it's not all bells and whistles?
Immediately after the first one. Immediately after the first one. I booked the first one and I was on a high, and then my agent was on a high because, they get 20% of what you make.
Yeah.
And they would send me out and then I wouldn't book. So, I mean, I'm happy with it. I have been a working actor for a very long time in a really small market. I never went to LA. And, a couple of years into it is when social media became a thing. And I realized very quickly that social media was a free way to promote myself. I have no shame. Sometimes I will get comments on some of my videos, be like, brag much? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm bragging much. I'm taking the Dolly Parton way here and saying, I wanted this. Like, don't fans, you're not bothering me. This is what I wanted. So yeah, I no regrets. But I do appreciate being a working actor. It's great. I have a life. I do get recognized sometimes, but I'm not Julia Roberts. And now that I know that's a thing, and especially voiceover, it is just my first love. And it's acting, but I don't have to memorize anything. I love it. And there's such diverse voice acting. So it's good for me. I love it.
Exactly, exactly. And I believe you did a lot of commercials over the years, doing voiceover commercials. So, what sort of commercials would you have appeared in? And yeah.
Actually, it's funny. I do a lot of commercials, but most of my commercials are going to be more what we call regional, so Northwest based, that type of thing. So everything from Fred Meyer, which is a big grocery store here, to that type of thing. The first voiceover one I got was actually a voiceover commercial for Woodburn Company stores, which was like the first outlet mall in this area. And I know I booked it because I said something about they let us ad lib, and I said something about schlepping through the mall, and they just thought it was hilarious. So a lot of regional stuff, and then for the main voiceover stuff that I actually do a lot of is what we call non-broadcast. So that's going to be like training videos in the Northwest. We have Intel, Nike, Hewlett Packard, Adidas. So a lot of those companies have a lot of training videos.
So, what, like training in staff on like how to work?
Or how to sell the product, or it's never going out commercially, but I have this knack of being able to sound like I know what I'm talking about when I have no idea what I'm talking about. So it works really well. So like one time for Intel, I can't even say Intel. I got a job because I was the only voice actor who could say proprietary no, now I can't say it. Oh, Jack, I've lost it. I've lost the ability to say it. Proprietary two-tone algorithm. There, did it. Woo! Good thing I don't have to do a pickup.
Hooray!
Proprietary, right? Proprietary two-tone algorithm. And I could say it in a sentence without fumbling, but I can't anymore. So sorry, Intel. But anyway. So yeah, that's a lot of what I do.
Yeah, yeah, that's sort of training sort of things. And you mentioned a little bit that you had extras in like TV shows and stuff. Did you get any sort of semi-big roles or even supporting roles that you'd appear in?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't ever become an extra again after that. I was like, that's okay, I did it. I learned what was on set, and I don't it's a great gig. Love it for if you want to do it. I need too much attention for that. I can't be this dot in the background. That's not going to work for me. So yes, in Oregon, we've had a number of television shows. So I had a guest starring role on Portlandia, which is very much a hit classic in the area, well, actually in the world. People love Portlandia. And then Leverage. I played a cop on Leverage, and that was really fun. I got to ad lib on, actually, I got to ad lib on both of them. Now that I think about it, yeah. So, and the guest star on my Portlandia one, because that's always the big thing, was Olivia Wilde, and she was just lovely to work with and very funny. And they didn't even pick her funniest lines. They really did her dirty because she had some stuff that I was like, I'm good. I do not break character, Jack. I'm so good at it. She was pushing me. I was almost losing it.
Oh God, yeah. I hate that when you're working on an acting thing and then someone's just throwing the jokes in, but you're trying to stay in character.
You're like, I can do it. I'm biting my tongue. I can do it, Olivia. I can do it.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Now, I suppose before we go into some of your other TV and other voice work that you've done, I suppose we'll go to the main tourist attraction, which is Rosalina, and ask you as much as we can about it. So I suppose the first question I'll ask you on this is, how did you guess the role of Rosalina? What was that audition process like for you?
Honestly, Jack, it was like every other audition. It really was no different than auditioning for Woodburn Company stores. The story from earlier, I got an email from my agent. It had the breakdown. That's what, whatever the character is. Well, not just character, it's everything. It's like who the client is, what the vibe is. This is not in an order. When the audition is due, how much it pays, if they know. Sometimes it'll say something like rate to be negotiated, but that's why you have an agent. They take care of it. It tells you kind of what, where the voiceover will be used. So usage, which is different, depending on if you're non-broadcast versus commercial, or a video game. And then sometimes it will say, there's an NDA, you got to sign it before you can even audition, which actually, as I'm recalling, with Nintendo, I don't remember if there was an NDA for even auditioning, which there might have been. But at the time, I really didn't know what a big deal it was. It was, yeah, it was cool. It was Nintendo, but like that really wasn't any different than me like, oh, I got a Nike audition. It's not, it really was kind of on the same level. It was like, it was not the local grocery store, but it wasn't like if it happened now. And I do still get auditions occasionally for Nintendo having nothing to do with Mario. And it's now it's like, oh, I get it now. But even during recording, I didn't know what a big deal it would be. I had no idea. It's fun.
So when you eventually landed the role, when did you get starting? What did you know about Rosalina as a character, or even Mario Galaxy as a game itself?
I didn't get to know very much, even once I was in the recording studio. I want to say they didn't even have animation for me to look at. I don't think. I mean, again, I didn't know what a big deal it was. I didn't take pictures. Lame. It's so lame. If I had a time traveler, I'd be going back 2007. So it was a lot of, she is the mother of the galaxy. She has these little stars. I'm not even sure the stars had like officially the name yet. I mean, I know we said the lines and stuff, so it did have it, but we recorded a lot of stuff that never got used, and a lot of stuff that I think changed. Can't remember what any of it was, but it was a lot of use your motherly voice, and I'm well aware I don't have a specific voice that someone's going to go like, ah, I'm not James Earl Jones, I'm not Meryl Streep. So even in the audition, I just went, oh, okay, I'm just going to do I'm reading a storybook. I'm reading a storybook to my children, so I just took the lines and very much was like, this is what I would read to my children. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, if we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon. So, I mean, I really just did my mom reading a book voice and it seemed to work. So that was really what I was given. And there was not a lot of tweaks actually, there was none. I did exactly what I did in the audition in the gig. Sometimes they'll be like, we really like what you did, but we need you to be less perky. I get that one a lot because my natural personality is really like, I'm a video game character in real life. And really, it is not because I've had too much Diet Coke. This is my first one. This is just my natural personality at 10 a.m. Right? Oh, Jack. Cheers. Yes. No, not cheers. Come on. Boop.
Cheers. Cheers indeed.
Shout out Diet Coke. I wouldn't mind doing voiceover for you. Just saying.
You want to see her video where she's like obsessing over Diet Coke as a joke. I'll link to it. It is
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That was one of the only times I jumped on a viral trend and jumped right on that one. It wasn't even about Diet Coke, but I made it about Diet Coke. So so it wasn't a real change to my natural vibe, and it didn't change much from the audition at all, really, from the audition to the gig to the final product. Truly, the only difference is they added the filter thing, which honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, did we need that? Love you, Nintendo, but I'm not sure if she needed the echo. Like, hello. Didn't realize that was happening.
I think that was kind of the product of its time, was to add kind of weird effects for space characters. Because I remember when I interviewed Tim Dabo, who did 343 Guilty Spark and Halo, they added like this flanger effect on him. And they probably didn't really need to add the flanger effect, but they added it anyway. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they added all this reverb and delay.
Yeah, I'm not sure she needed it, but that's okay.
Yeah. And I know they got rid of it in later games, that's for sure. But I do want to go kind of a little more onto what you said earlier about that some of the dialogue you didn't even get used in the final game. Because I want to know, did you voice full dialogue? Like, I'm not talking like sentences, I'm talking like full-on paragraphs as Rosalina. Because in the game, it looks like there's supposed to be moments where Rosalina has full on paragraph dialogue and she'll just say stuff like, yes, cool, look here.
Yep, that's what we did.
That was all.
That was it. Nothing was longer than uh, a sentence or so, and short sentences at that. And again, because I'm not a video game person, even today, but much less back then, I I thought that was normal. And then later, when I did other auditions for other video games, I'm like, oh, no, there's usually huge paragraphs and stuff. So I'm not really sure if that was just kind of, like you said, the time and that was what a lot of video games were or what. But no, it was all very short. And sometimes that's why it's hard for me. I try to get back into the voice, like when I'm reading and try to get dialed in more than just my mommy voice. And I'll struggle a little bit. I'll be like, let's go. Because they were so short, you know? And then we did the Perky, which at the time I didn't know was going to be for Cart. And I only knew we were doing Galaxy. Again, it was totally fine. I knew that they could use my voice forever and ever, not a problem. But but it was very different. The Galaxy ones were very like, there was no, it was more like, let's go, you know, the difference, you know. So it was still all let's go. And for every line, they would have me do it as many ways as I could think of to do, and they would kind of keep track. So for, you know, Mario, it would be Mario, Mario, you know, and everything in between. And so it would go from my hyper Mercedes to my motherly reading a book Mercedes and everything in between. So yeah,
Yeah, right. Very interesting because, like, when I was playing over Mario Galaxy 1 a couple of days ago, I just wanted to see what the scenes of Rosalina would be like. And there'd be moments in the game where she'd have, like subtitle full on dialogue. Like, for example, at the end of the game, she says, "Thank you, I will watch over you from beyond the stars." And it's fully lip synced. And the only thing that comes out of her is, "Thank you."
yep,
And I find that really mad because the previous Mario game that came out, Mario Sunshine, that had full dialogue. Everyone was voiced. Everyone had
yep,
full dialogue. Peach had dialogue. Bowser had bloody dialogue,
yep.
which he's
I know
never had
Bowser.
since. Oh, cool.
He's an organ actor too. I totally get what you're saying, and here's my suspicion. And actually, no one has ever asked me about this, so you're getting breaking news here. Again, just my opinion for entertainment purposes only. Because I don't really know, but I suspect what happened is Nintendo is such a big company. I was recording this one character in this one place in Seattle with this one group of Nintendo people. And I think when they built the game out, they realized they wanted more. And I kid you not, I don't know if they knew how to find me again. Like I really, or they were too cheap to ask me to do more, which can be true. And honestly, I didn't get paid that much to begin with. I still would do it again. I have no regrets. But in terms of what that game did, it's unbelievable that how little I got paid and how much I wanted to come back. And I just think they didn't. I seriously, I'm not sure if they knew how to find me. Which again, it was a very different time.
Yeah.
You know, now it would not be hard. They spelled my name wrong in the credits.
Yeah, in Mario Kart Wii, your name's Mercedes Rose.
Z's, yeah. Oh, is it with a Z at the end or is it with an A in the middle?
It's a Z at the end.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
only in Mario Kart Wii. In Mario Galaxy 1 and 2,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah. So that's what I think happened. I don't think even they knew how big a game it was going to be, how successful it was going to be. And so I think they hodgepodged it together and went, well, we wanted to say a little bit more. Well, we didn't have the voice actor say much more. Well, can we get her back? Well, no. Or can we get her back? I don't know. Or we don't have time for that. The game needs to come out. Just it's fine. You know, they'll love it. So
Yeah.
that it's not, yeah, because we didn't record those long lines, which is part of why when I'm reading the book, I'm like, I would have loved to have said all of this. This is amazing. I'm a voice actor. I mean, I'm an actor. I want more. Give me more. So I think Rosalina needs her own video game personally.
Oh, yes. If we can get Princess Peach Showtime, we need to get a Rosalina
Right?
game. That's for sure. We do.
Right?
It'd be
And
brilliant.
nostalgia.
It'd be epic.
Nostalgia is so big right now. Oh, if they went back to the original voice actor, wait, that's me. That did Rosalina, you know, like expanded her story to include the storybook. I mean, the whole plot is right here. Just
And here's the thing about the little storybook that I don't think you know about it, because that storybook was kind of kept hidden away from the big higher guns at Nintendo, like Shigeru Miyamoto.
mhm.
The people who were working on that story, they wanted to kind of keep this as a little thing hidden so that it
Yeah,
wouldn't get axed. That was the
yeah,
point.
yeah,
They wanted to make sure that it'd get
yep,
into the game. So
yeah.
I'd say by the time it did hit into the game, they were going to ship the game anyway. And I do know some of that audio at the big in Mario Galaxy 1, especially some of the music, is a little rushed. Like you can tell, like when it hits to the very end of the game, there's supposed to be this like grandiose music, like congratulations, you beat the game, and it's done on this synth MIDI orchestra thing, and it's the
I'm
only
not
time it
shocked.
happens. And you go, oh my god, this.
Yep,
So
yep. It could have been so
yeah,
much better. But
yeah.
yeah, I do think it's really ironic how the Northwest connection to this game, because the book is done by Dark Horse, which is also an Oregon company. I A number of Oregon actors are in the Mario world. Like I said, I know Bowser because we share our West Coast agent is the same. And there's a number of others. So and the Wii was big. The Wii was just coming out when, all this was happening. In fact, my daughter ended up doing two commercials for the Wii, and when she auditioned, they gave her a stapler and told her, it's for a video game console that hasn't come out yet. Talk about an NDA. Woo-hoo! The Wii NDA, whole other thing. So you're playing this video game and like use this stapler as you're doing things like you're playing tennis, whatever. And yeah, she actually ended up doing two different commercials for them. So yeah, it's all Northwest based, which I just think is really interesting.
Yes, very, very, very interesting indeed. And we might as well go into Mario Kart Wii, since you seem to have done the Mario Galaxy and the Mario Kart Wii stuff on the very
Yeah,
same day.
I did
So,
everything in one day. That was it. One day, never heard from them again. Yeah. And actually,
that
going back to, I don't think they knew how to find me when they recast. And I think was it Laura Faye Smith or Carrie after me? I think Laura was after me, right?
thing was Kerry, and then it was Laura.
Carrie and then Laura. Okay, so when they put that casting call out, I got it from the same agent. And I wrote back, and it literally had my original audition attached to it, like as a voice match. And I wrote back to my agent and I was like, look, I'll audition again, but I'm a little offended. And she was like, we don't think they know that you're it. And I was like, did you tell them? And she's like, yeah, I don't think they believe us. Like, they just kept going. So I didn't audition again. Maybe I should have. But I just think, again, it was right hand, left hand. They didn't know who was doing what. And it's really weird.
Yeah, I believe that happened to another interview guest I had, Mike Pollock. He did the voice for Eggman, and they asked him to re-audition again, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it again," and then he got it again. So
Yeah.
yeah,
In
they must have not.
hindsight, maybe I should have, and maybe they didn't want me. That is entirely possible. I didn't get that vibe. Like you can tell in a gig if you're like, they are not feeling this. This is a one and done. And honestly, they didn't spend that much time or money. They could have replaced me that day if they were like, this is not what we thought. They were into it. They were vibing. I would have said I was going to come back. It is possible that they're like, well, we just want to go, a more young voice, or the trends have changed or whatever. Was a couple years. Um, but I do find it really odd because, they use the same Peach for a long time, the same Daisy for a long time. So I don't know if it's just I'm not LA, I'm not cool enough, or literally, I really think, Jack, it was left hand, right hand, Nintendo's too big and they didn't know what was going on. Just
Yeah,
my opinion. Helps my ego, I guess.
as big as Rosalina's cosmetic observatory, let's say. Um,
Exactly. That's my ego.
Anyway, going on to Mario Kart Wii. So you had a lot of work to do in this like, yeah, a lot of exertion sounds to do. So when it came to like falling in water or falling in lava, like what sort of things are they telling you? Were they telling you, okay, Rosalina is going to be burnt to death. Please do that.
Yeah, pretty much. It was always very vague, and it was, what do you think the character would do? Which is nice. I appreciate that. So I remember specifically because I thought it was so funny. What would the sound be if she had her wand and she bonked someone over the head with it? And I was like, hmm, okay, all these like weird sounds, going in, it's going to be athletic. You are going to be exhausted. You wear comfortable layered clothing because you will end up stripping down to like the bare minimum because you'll just be sweating. You'll just be like dying, because it's so physical. And in fact,
Yeah.
just recently, someone, not Brie Larson, but someone else in the video game, maybe it was Brie, I don't think it was complaining about how hard it was. And no one had warned her how much physical work it is to do these character voices. And it's like, yeah, that's why you hire voice actors that have done it for a long time. Because it is exhausting because it's all about the voice, but you have to make the movements. So it's a very weird juxtaposition between it's all about the voice, but you can't, there's a big difference between, and like doing the physical. So yeah, so it was a lot of what do you think Rosalina would sound like if this happened? So it was fun. It was really fun. Love to do it again, Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that was Anya Taylor-Joy who
Yes,
does
thank
Peach,
you.
and she said that she
Thank
nearly
you.
got sick doing one of the lines or something because it was just
She
that.
threw up. That's right. She
Yeah.
threw up. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You
what
you
it
definitely
was.
can. You definitely can, especially if it's a really emotional, if it's, I'm picturing like The Last of Us, that video game. It would be I could see that definitely, but that is why it's really a bummer when Hollywood went so far to, oh, we have to have these names that are doing these things. Because honestly, I don't think anyone went to, I could be wrong, please. If you went to see Super Mario Galaxy because Brie Larson had 5 lines in it and that's why you went, I'm all in for it. That is good for you. But I feel like they really missed an opportunity to get some of those voice actors in it. Or Chris Pratt. What? He did Chris Pratt doing Mario. He didn't do Mario.
Oh God!
So,
Don't remind me about Chris Pratt. Oh
I
my
just,
God!
what a wasted opportunity.
I've seen the Mario Galaxy
Yeah.
movie. All right. Did you get to see it?
No, and honestly, I probably won't. I think it would just break my heart and it wouldn't mean anything to me. I didn't play the game. I like my connection is to the fans who love my voice. That's it. My connection is to I love Rosalina and she is such a part of me, but it's because it's my mom voice. And so my love is for the fans, not necessarily the game. And
Yeah.
in fact, I'm a lot more attached to the idea of Cart because that's the one my kids played all the time. So I heard my voice all the time, and my other friends' voices. But like my kids would get so mad because they'd like to race as Rosalina, but when you lose, she goes, "Oh well," and they would just be like, "Thanks, mom. Thanks."
Yeah.
So it's a bummer because I feel like they really missed an opportunity to, and they didn't even have to tell people. Word of mouth alone, the first people to go see the movie would be like, wait, I'm not even saying me. I'm saying like Charles and all the like the original Daisy, the original
Yeah.
Peach. Like,
Exactly.
people would have lost it. And honestly, I think Rosalina should have been in it more. For as popular as she is, she kind of gets done dirty a lot. Like,
Yeah, yeah, she was in. So I went to see the movie, and I'll tell you what it's like as someone who has played Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 and Wii and all the other games for probably about 16 years. So bad. He still has his old Mario Galaxy magazine from 2010. So I'm just saying. I will say, for a fan like me, seeing all the references to all the games was absolutely amazing. And even such things like seeing Fox McCloud from Star Fox appear, that was amazing. But I will say, if your connection to Mario is I did the voice of Rosalina for a few hours and about a minute of it got into the actual game, you are going to be so lost for like 3/4 of it. It is so confusing for the
yeah,
non-hardcore Mario gamer. And I
yeah.
remember there's a scene Chris Pratt was in as Mario, and it was like a serious scene with Peach just kind of talking about these stars, like shooting stars. And it's supposed to be really deep and emotional. And I just died of laughter because Chris, it was like, is that your best take? Is that your best take, bro?
Maybe.
Brie actually wasn't bad. I
I
wasn't
heard
sure,
that.
but she was, yeah, she was
Yeah.
pretty good, and she wasn't as well. That she actually was a fan of Mario Galaxy. She used to play it a lot when she was younger, so
Hmm.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like you could tell, like, okay, she understands what this role
Yeah.
is, even though she only has about like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. And that warms my heart. I have heard that she did do the lower range, that was closer to like the original voice. So I like that. But yeah, no hard feelings. It's so funny. Fans truly don't understand the way that Hollywood works. They'll be like, "Well, did Brie call you and ask you for tips?" I'm like, "Oh, precious, my sweet summer child." No, Brie Larson, as far as she knows, I'm anybody. Like, no, she's gonna do her own thing. Or like, did Nintendo ask you for thoughts on it? No. Like I said,
No.
Nintendo can't find me, apparently.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's really funny. But yeah, no, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that she, and same with Carrie and Laura Faye Smith. No hard feelings to them. It's not, I mean, I would take I would take Charles's job if they recast Mario. No problem. I could be Mario. So yeah.
This is breaking news for you. They already have recast Charles Martinet in the Mario
Uh,
games.
no, seriously? Is it a famous
Yeah.
person though? Is it a famous
No.
person? Okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
it's not.
All right.
Some guy, Kevin, I forget his last name. I don't know his Kevin something something. Yeah, Charles Martinet retired as the voice of Mario, so they have another voice doing it. Anyway, going back to Mario Kart Wii, here is something that's kind of been taken as fact due to an interview that former Nintendo president Satoru Iwata did with the developers of Mario Kart Wii. And basically, he asked them what was the difficulties of developing this Wii wheel device thing here, all right?
Sure.
And one of the developers answered him and said, when we were recording, we realized it was good to have the voice actors actually play the game. And Iwasa followed this up with, I see, they said their lines while actually playing the game. So I would like to ask, did they do that for you?
No. No, not at all. No. Like I said, I was about Super Mario Galaxy. That's what I was cast for. So I didn't know about Kart. And my guess is that they always knew, but maybe not. Maybe they were like, well, what she did in the booth is good enough for Kart, because I did do the hyper voice too. But it's still very Rosalina. It's still let's go. That's my way higher range while still being deep. It's from here, not here. Or rather it's from here, not here, not here. So I don't know if they knew she was going to be in Cart at the time, but I know we did not play the game. I didn't see the game.
Yeah, okay, well, at least we debunked that theory, at least.
But that doesn't mean other actors didn't. Maybe other actors did. But for me, again, left hand, right hand. I'm not sure, and I think that some of the voice actors were probably after me. I think I was one of the earlier ones for the game. So yeah, no, didn't play it. Didn't even know I was in Cart, I think, until it came out. Because again, I didn't get paid more. They could use my voice forever. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd say they probably would have known it was for Mario Kart Wii, because those games were being developed kind of simultaneously. And there's a lot of Galaxy stuff in Mario Kart Wii. If you played Mario Galaxy and then booted up Mario Kart Wii, you'd get Rosalina instantly as an unlockable character.
Yeah.
So I'd say they and plus there's lines in it as well that you say in Mario Kart Wii, like, yippee, we win! And it's like, there's no way that's for Mario. The other one.
Yeah. But at the time, it all sounds like video games to me. I didn't know, I like, we win. Too bad. I don't know. Okay. Like, and sometimes it was like a hyper too bad. Too bad. So.
Exactly. And So I know you mentioned there that you never played Mario Galaxy 1 or 2 or any of them, but did you even try when Mario Kart Wii came out? Did you even try Mario Kart Wii? Because like you could not escape that game back in the
I know.
day.
Yeah, it was a big part of our family again because my daughter was in the commercials and I'm in the voice and also during We time we were the Northwest actors that were with my agency. I'm with an agency called In Both Ears in Oregon. We were auditioning for We stuff all the time. So like one of my good friends, well actually two of my good friends are the voices of like the We trainers. So it's like good job, so those are all Northwest based. So we could not escape We. So again, I don't play video games. The last video game I probably played was Space Invaders in like 1988, at like an arcade. So no, but I did have an idea. Our family's going on vacation in a couple weeks, and I was like, let's take the Wii and I'll play Mario Kart as Rosalina for the first time, and we'll do it on camera and we'll get a video of it. So
Dude!
we'll see.
Oh my
We'll see how it
god, that would
goes.
be brilliant. That
We'll
would
see
be
how it
brilliant,
goes.
trust me.
So.
People will get such a laugh or a kick out of it. I'm telling you
It's
now.
gonna be
Because so
bad. It's gonna be
few.
bad.
It doesn't
It's
matter
gonna
if
be
it's bad
bad.
because there's people. I mean, there's people I've interviewed and they never would have touched any of the games. They never would, or if they
Oh yeah.
would touch them, they would have seen it like their game in an arcade and went, "Oh, okay, I'm in that," and they would have just picked their character,
Yeah.
play a game, and then
No, no, I
leave.
want to play as Rosalina. Yeah, no. No, I have a whole plan. So we're gonna do that. And then it's kind of funny. My daughter who did the Wii stuff, as an actor and everything, her name's Paige McKenzie, and we have a YouTube channel that we did from 2010 to like 2020 till the pandemic. That's like a paranormal activity meets Gilmore Girls. It's called The Haunting of Sunshine Girl.
Do you
And
want to go
actually,
into that? I have a lot of questions for that.
well, okay, so here's my thing though. The fan base, and yes, I'd love to talk about it. Hello. The fan base overlaps a lot. And it's really funny because Rosalina fans now are discovering, wait, are you Sunshine's mom? Like, yes. So that's the other thing we're talking about doing is like on this vacation playing this game and like doing it from both perspectives. So like me as Rosalina and her as Sunshine and like putting it out to both our fan bases because they overlap so much. People kind of grew up with both, and it's really interesting. I could read you comments, and you'd not be able to guess. Like, you changed my life. You're the voice of my childhood. I grew up with you, and like that could be from either. We get almost identical type of nostalgia based comments that we both love, but it's really funny how much it overlaps, and we love it. We're having such a good time. It's all nostalgia. So yeah, but yes. So we have this popular YouTube channel, Paranormal Activity meets Gilmore Girls. It was like a haunted house thing. We were doing narrative YouTube way before it was popular. We were too far ahead of our time. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what sort of made you both go, yeah, let's do this Haunting of Sunshine Girl thing? Like what sort of kicked it off? I was like, yes, we got to do this.
Well, we were really, again, social media, 2010, social media was, YouTube was just kind of, it was popular, but we were like, that's a platform. And if we do this show, we can get Hollywood to pay attention to us while not leaving Oregon. So that was kind of the whole plan. And we had a director friend who came in. He was like, I have this idea. I'm thinking, I did like a reverse search on YouTube, and the number two most searched thing was ghosts. Number one was Lil Wayne. We don't think there's anything we can do with that. So we decided to just do this, like, think Blair Witch Project. It's very, handheld. We had a flip camera. It wasn't even a phone. It was like, hey, everybody, I'm Sunshine. It was very like handheld, no, no makeup and lights, and it was all very raw and real, and people thought it was very real for a really long time. It's actually my biggest regret is that we had my character be possessed by a demon way too early. Should have kept it real longer. Because there's a lot of you're going to be way too young for this reference, but there was a Lost Girl 15 was like a thing on YouTube that people were like, is that real? Is she real? And that was kind of what we were getting. And I'm really bummed that we kind of let it go ridiculous too fast because I think it would have helped. But yeah, I mean, it took off. We did really, really well, and it worked. We got Hollywood to pay attention. And we ended up having a series of books that my daughter wrote, and they became New York Times bestsellers. And the books were bought by Weinstein Books, a division of Weinstein Films. And Weinstein had the intention and sent it out. It was going to be first a movie, and then it was going to be, they changed it to a TV show. We got all the way to BBC America. It was, it was being purchased when Harvey was finally held accountable for all of his transgressions and his horrible behavior, horrible, illegal, immoral, unethical.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
It really was. It really sucked. And I'm so happy that he was held accountable and that he is sitting in a jail cell right now where it's just where he belongs. He should not have gotten away with it for as long as he did because everyone knew. My daughter was never in a situation where she could be with him. We went to like an Oscar party that he did. My daughter, the ladies at Weinstein Books protected us so much. And even though my daughter was 18, they let me go with her to everything. And which was not a bad thing because I was in it too and all this. But our situation with Weinstein was very different. The Weinstein Book ladies were unbelievable. That group was just like amazing. And then when all of that went down, it took us a while to get the IP back. We finally got it back. And now we're working on trying to get it a new home somewhere. But it's really hard to get Hollywood to pay attention right now to something that has been off, for a while. So we're kind of playing around with, what do we do with this? Do we go back to more hauntings? What, do we investigate a new place? What do we do? But it worked. I mean, we did what we set out to do. We wanted to work together. We wanted to do something fun and creative and, in our own home. And, it worked out. But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a lot of. I looked at a lot of it, and like just to kind of have a little look and see what it was all about. And I mean, some of it, like just like really, they're kind of creepy and eerie at times, and some of them with millions and millions and millions of views. Yeah. One of my favorite ones I watched because they're quite funny. It's one of the early ones, and it was basically these unprofessional investigators who claimed to be real investigators, and they were going to see if the house was haunted and like if it was all a hoax or everything.
Yeah.
And you soon quickly realize that actually these two are douchebags that don't know anything, and when they see the scares, it's really funny. How did that one come about? Like writing that one and putting that one together.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked because I love that one too. That the guy that played the ball, I think his name was Gary, the bald guy. Gary, his real name is Darius Pierce, and he is, I kid you not, probably the funniest actor I've ever met in my life. He is so funny. And that same director that we worked with to create The Haunting of Sunshine Girl had also created a thing called The Paranormalist, which was that the character of Gary and that other character, and they were part of a team like that, investigating. And I was also in that as a different character. I was Jennifer, and I was the psychic, and definitely not really a psychic. And it was, again, very funny. And it was all of that. It was this like, these crackpot paranormal investigators. And so we just decided to do a crossover. And it was, this real haunting and these guys that don't know what to do when it's a real haunting. But I agree. I think it is the funniest thing. If you want to link to that, that is some really funny stuff. So again, that's another one I'd love to do a whole show about because I think, ghosts are still, everything has a cycle. Everything has a 10-year cycle. Vampires, 10 years later, they're back. Ghosts, so I feel like ghosts are back a little bit, and I'm ready for it. I'm like, let's do some more paranormal investigations. But that is one of my favorites. You nailed it for me, Jack.
Yeah, it's just such a lot. And it's not jump scary where like if you're one of these, like I wouldn't be big into the old jump scares. So if you're afraid of that, don't worry. There's nothing like that. It's just a barrel of laughs in this haunted house. It's I'd almost compare it, like if you're a Mario fan watching this, I'd almost compare it to like a slightly funnier and slightly more scary version of Luigi's Mansion. It's really like that. It's really funny.
That's good. That's a good. Thank you for that. That's a good comparison. I like that.
Yes, it's really funny, really funny. I do want to ask as well about the series as well, because would there be times where you'd film outside and film like in like places that were considered to be really
Oh,
paranormal and
yeah.
stuff? Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
Oh, for
'cause-
sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a couple, especially in the earlier seasons. Like we did something at a McMinimans, which if you're from the Northwest, you know, a lot of those are definitely haunted. We investigated at a place, it's now an antique mall on the Oregon coast. Actually, it's an event center. I don't even know anymore. But at the time, we were able to go in and talk to like the people, and it was a crematorium. And it was one of those cases where a lot of the bodies were disrespected and left in a bad situation to take some money from families. And so that there was some really creepy stuff there. No, we had more than once where we were like, okay, all right, that was not us. Like things would fall off the wall. Some of the stuff that we got in there was not us, but like there's one where we figured out how to light a candle by itself, like a real candle. And that was I loved that. I was like, ooh, that was fun. But that there were times where it was a little disconcerting. Like more than once did we not actually stay the night at the place. They're like, all right, we got what we need. Well, let's go ahead and go now.
what was that place where you didn't stay overnight? Where it's like, okay, yeah, this is too scary. Get out of here.
I don't want to throw them under the bus because they are still a hotel. So yeah, it was a hotel and not the Shining Hotel, which is also in the Northwest. But no, not that one.
It was a scary hotel, at least.
Yes, yes.
And I see that your daughter had recently posted a video saying, we might be coming back. Do you want us to come back and stuff? So I know you
Yes.
mentioned a little bit of the plan. Is there any sort of other things in the plan, like what you'll do and what not?
We're still talking about it, but again, it's like I was saying, it's sort of this nostalgia driven. The Mario stuff really brought out a lot of the fan base of you know, you were the voice of my childhood, and it kind of got us thinking like, where have we heard that before? Wait, okay, that is something a lot of Sunshine fans say. So it's just something we've been talking about a little bit. The pandemic really messed with a lot of things, and one of them was our creative vibe was just it was not there. And so yeah, I think we are going to come back and do some stuff. We're not really sure what yet, but she lives 2 blocks away, so it's convenient.
That helps. That
Yeah.
helps.
And I'm still in the main house. This is not the house from the original, like the very first couple seasons. That was my partner's house, which I still think was haunted. And then we moved into this house. This house was actually built in 1911, and it definitely occasionally, like when we first moved in, the lady let us paint upstairs while we didn't own it yet. And there was one day she was like, "Hey, I'm leaving." We're like, "Okay, bye." She was an elderly lady, and she had a lot of she had run it like as a care home for elderly. And after she left, we heard so many things downstairs, like so many. And we were like, "What is happening?" So when we moved in, we did like a little like blessing of the house, like spirits. If you are here, please go with Sweet Mary. And after that, we have not had a problem. But yeah, and then right after we moved in, my youngest Scout, who has it was actually for fans of Sunshine Girl, Scout is the original little ghost girl Anna. She was little at the time. There were a couple times when she was like just learning to talk that I was like, "What's happening?" One morning she was like, or one morning she's crying, she's crying, she's crying. I'm like, "What's wrong?" And there was a man outside the window, second floor, and he was all bloody. He was all bloody, and she couldn't really tell me more. And then the next day, we find out that a hunter had fallen into a river and hit his head and died a mile from our house. And I was like, "Scout, what is happening?"
Ugh.
So yeah, so every once in a while, I'll be like, but yeah. So we're thinking about doing some investigating and finding a cool place and shooting another season, but we'll see. So, thank you for
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. It feels like haunted stuff follows you around the place.
It's never been bad. It's never been bad. It's always been good spirits. We love you, spirits.
So we'll go off the Haunting of Sunshine Grove for a little bit and speak just about some other short films and little things you may have worked on over the time. So, like, what other movies or things you maybe would have written, produced, or maybe acted in? Like, what's out there that maybe you'd recommend?
Oh my gosh. A couple of things. I was in a cult classic movie called What the Bleep Do We Know when I was actually pregnant with Scout. And a lot I get recognized from that, which cracks me up because it was kind of at the same time as The Secret. So it was a lot of like a lot of people who really believed in the power of positive thinking and I was with Marley Matlin and she was just lovely. And so that was really fun, but it still to this day, I mean, now it's been 20 some odd years and I'm barely in it. I'm in it a lot, but like all my lines got cut. And my hair was short and I was massively pregnant. I think it's really weird when I get spotted for that, but I get spotted for that one. And we did produce quite a bit of things. We did like a show for there was a pilot, not a pilot, but like a program for Disney called The Misfits that we were, pitching to them that they gave us a little bit of a budget to go shoot like a teaser trailer for it for this part of this pilot program. They ended up not really doing anything with any of them, but it was cool. I mean, we had a good time and that was really fun. And The Misfits was one of those like it wasn't scary, it was more like fantasy, which was really fun. And we had really talented cast and crew that came in and did like fabulous makeup and all of that kind of stuff. So that was really fun. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it is I'm a working actor. If you want to get your motorcycle license in Oregon, you have to watch a safety video that I will tell you about how to be safe on your motorcycle. Shot that like 10 years ago, but they're still using it. You go to jury duty, you might see me being a lawyer, pretending to be a lawyer. I'm not pretending, I'm acting. It's not pretending. So yeah. So it's I love it. I love it so much. It's funny. For a couple months, the voiceover auditions really tanked through my agency. I have two agents, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, and they just tanked off. And everyone is like talking, and we're texting each other. Man, is it just really slow? I'm only booking my ongoing clients that I'm the girl voice for, which I have a number of those, so that's cool. But like, we're not getting much from our agents, and we all were like, it's got to be AI, and then it just bumped back up. And so I think a couple clients maybe tried to use a little AI and went, "Oh, this is not gonna work." And so it's picked back up. We're getting a lot of auditions, between my two agents and then my ongoing clients that are just mine that I've gotten on my own because I'm really good at marketing myself. I probably audition 3 or 4 times a day for different things. All voiceover. The only on-camera acting I do now, really, other than my own projects, is if a client calls me directly and is like, "Hey, we worked together on this other thing. Do you want to come do this?" I don't have an agent for on camera anymore, which is fine. But voiceover is my first love, and producing my own stuff. I know what I'm good at, and I want to do what I am good at. you know.
Yeah. And it gives you like a creative freedom when it's your
Yeah.
own thing
Yeah.
to work on, and it's, especially if it's an on-camera thing.
Yeah.
No,
So
oh, you got to change your look to be like this and this and this
yeah.
or on camera.
Yeah. No, I prefer that. And I actually, it's really funny. I would like to do more sort of indie video games. Excuse me. The Diet Coke's getting to me. I'd love to do more indie video games that are, like I want a The Last of Us. I want one of those like really big acting. I know that wasn't indie. That was a bad example. But I want more of that type of video games because all the video games I've done are like America's Next Top Model or a Star Trek one and stuff. They were more similar to Mario. They were shorter lines. So I'd love more of like that, whatever, deeper one. So, if you're an indie video game producer out there and you want to use Princess Rosalina's voice, I'll cut my rate real low for you. Just because I just want to do it. You know what I mean? I want to get on the ground floor of an indie video game that then becomes this thing. I think that would be really cool. So, or like the other big one I want, and I just haven't gotten it yet, other than for commercials. I do a lot of what I call airport voice. So, like, mind the gap, like, welcome to Portland International Airport. I want to be the voice of something like Rocky, in a Project Hail Mary. I want to be, I know that was also the puppeteer, but like I want to be the voice of the ship in Galaxy Quest. I want to do something like that. That's the other kind of my big goal. I'm like, I can get more of that. So my East Coast agent is based in Georgia, so I get more auditions for that type of work from that agent. And I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get some just the voice of a ship or the voice of a robot or the voice of AI. I was very close to getting Siri back in the day. I auditioned same thing, auditioned. We didn't know what a big deal it was. Um, and I got like almost to the end. I had to audition a couple times. Now I'm thrilled I didn't get it. I don't want to be the voice of Siri. At the time, it was a bummer. I was like, yeah, that would have been fun. But now I'm like, oh, I'd be like the you've got mail guy. So yeah, you've got
In
mail. So
hindsight, you dodged a bullet.
yeah, I think so. But I still have goals. I'm not done.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Was there a game that you did that was like where there was more beefier dialogue rather than your
No,
Mario's or your Star? Never.
no, that's what I'm saying. I auditioned for those. And I keep thinking I'll get one, but no, all of them. If you look at my IMDb, which that's not even complete because I'm bad about updating it, but the ones that are on there they're not ones I put on, they're the ones the producers put on. Um, like they're all short. Again, America's Next Top Model, Star Trek, they're all really like shorter type of things. Slightly longer than Rosalina, but not much. But that's what I want. I want those beefy, I want to like voice act. That's my goal. Gotta have a goal.
Yeah, proper acting, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
is there any thing else coming up in the future for you that's relating to whatever the hell? I know that today, funnily enough, there was a Rosalina thing that came out. Mario Galaxy 2 got an update with your voice in it.
What?
Yeah,
Is it still my voice?
yeah,
Are you serious?
I am. We have Super Mario Galaxy 2 on my Switch too. We'll get it booted up here. And I'll show you. This literally came out today.
But we already had this scheduled. We didn't know about that. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Today,
Okay.
as we record this, there's a Mario Galaxy 2 update which adds more to Rosalina's storybook. Here's Rosalina. We're talking.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
And here we go. So we go into here. There's a little book which was never in the original Mario Galaxy in 2010. Now they added this back 6 months ago with a couple of chapters, but today they added an epilogue, which is just about Rosalina looking at the stars.
You're shocking me. I cannot believe that. Wow.
And it's a game with your voice in it.
Okay. All right. Well, they clearly have my original recording. They know where that is. So,
Yeah.
well, good for them. Good for them for realizing that Rosalina has, the love for Rosalina has continued. It's funny that you say the storybook because I actually just bought this. I didn't even know it existed until really what happened is the game came out and people started messaging me out of nowhere, or not even the game came out. The game got announced. And I started getting all these messages. Hey, are you going to be in the game? Are you going to be in the movie? I'm like, what? And that's when I started getting back on TikTok. And I'm like, wait, what? Because before I was just kind of like, hey, yeah, if you're ever interested, I talk about voiceover. I'm the original voice of Princess Rosalina, and it never really did anything. I was like, okay, whatever, no one really cares. But then with the movie coming out, like a cultural reporter from the New York Times called and was like, hey, can we talk about, being the original voice? And yeah, all that. And so I went and got the book, and I'm going to actually read it chapter for chapter and I'm going to kind of do the Rosalina voice. I'm going to read y'all a bedtime story. That's what I'm going to do. So that's going to be up on my TikTok in the next couple weeks while I got it. I want to figure out how to do it best because I want to make sure people can see the like. I don't want to just like read it like this. I want to do a split screen. So I got to figure that part out. But I'm going to read the whole thing chapter for chapter in Rosalina's voice, which is really my mom reading a book voice. So you're all my children. Come read a story with me. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, Rosalina's having a moment.
Oh, absolutely. Rosalina is definitely having a moment. Rosalina has always been a very popular Mario character, but definitely since that Mario Galaxy movie came out, it's like,
Okay, so can you get me a copy of that? Like, can you do a little video record of that or something? Can you get it for me somehow? I
yeah,
that's
I can show you this, no problem. I'll send it to you
that would be
later. No
amazing.
problem. Will
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
and I'll show you all
This is
that.
so
I'll
fun.
show you all that.
Thank you, Jack.
You're very welcome. And you know what? I think we'll end it on that bright note. We've been here for almost an hour and 5 minutes. So, Mercedes, thank you very much for coming on. Is there any last things you'd like to say to your adoring Mario and Sunshine Girl fans? And would you like to plug in the old socials?
Yeah, no, please. Just it's really easy to find me, Nintendo. Mercedes Rose. It's really easy to find me. Oh, that is good. And thank you for asking that question. I have had a lot of people asking if I'm going to go like to a Comic-Con or one of those, a conference, so they can bring their stuff and have me sign it. I am working on having that happen. I'm chatting with somebody who books those. I know Carrie and Laura both do that, and I just, like I said, I kind of never thought about it again, really. And if social media had been out when I did that, it would be a whole different game. But because I'm playing catch up, so yeah, I definitely TikTok is where I post, the bulk of my Rosalina stuff, which is Mercedes Can Talk. And because across the board, I'm kind of girl actor everywhere, but I wasn't able to get that on TikTok, which is a bummer. But yeah, I mean, if you just look up Mercedes Rose, original voiceover actor, you'll find all my socials. But TikTok's kind of the main one. I've been putting a few things up on my YouTube and my Instagram, which is also wide open. That one's Mercedes Rose Official, and you can keep up with everything. I'm definitely going to post this when it comes out. And the clip you send me, I'm going to figure out what to do with that because my mind is blown. But yeah, thank you for that. That was wow. I mean, I love talking about voiceover. I love talking about Rosalina. I love Nintendo. I would love for them to bring me back. If there's a grassroots effort to find a way, I mean, if I was Nintendo, I would be just jumping on it. Clearly, they're thinking about something because they're adding stuff to games. Like, that's really
They're literally adding
that's really
stuff
cool.
to Mario Galaxy 2, a 16-year-old game that you
Yeah.
voiced in nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that so much. You've warmed my little star heart. So thank you so much. This was so fun. So yeah. So after Nintendo brings me back, I'll come back on your show and we'll talk
Yes,
again.
absolutely. I'd love that. Maybe we could get a Mario Kart. Get you playing Mario Kart on the
Yes.
channel.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Yes.
That'd be good crack.
We'll see how it goes.
Anyway, you can find me simply on my YouTube channel, Jack Lucas Caffrey. I'm also available on Instagram and Facebook, where I'll be posting all the highlights of all the interviews I do, including a couple of my new songs, The Keys of Anonymity and Harmful Harmony. A couple of new songs coming out on June the 20th, so look forward to that. And yeah, with that, Mercedes Rose, thank you very much for coming on, and I will see you lot very soon in another interview. We have a few coming up soon, so I'll look forward to that. Take care, bye-bye.